Did you guys catch any of the reports of the Russian soldiers who didn't really know what the actual political reality situation was from that?
I think Kyle told me a bit about it.
I've heard everything from guys who thought they were on a training exercise and didn't know what part of the world they were in, to guys getting executed by their superiors that were wounded, to people like, being handed their papers that say you're not in the army and you haven't been in the army for a month and a half, and these are soldiers in Ukraine with Russian uniforms, and they're like, here are your papers. You're not in the army, nor have you been for the last month and a half. You should probably get out of here. like all sorts of nonsense to try to
why?
Different reasons. And in that instance, they were just like, they didn't want to be responsible for those troops anymore. Those were just untrained. Like, they were in a barn on the wrong part of Ukraine, like cold. They were like, we're cold. like I'm hungry. like they don't have any sort of way to support
their
army.
advantage to say, I don't know why I'm here. I thought it was a training. I'm being tried for war crimes now, right? They're saying you came here and you murdered Ukrainians. This is a trial in Ukraine by Ukrainians for Ukrainians. And it's to my advantage to say, man, I thought I was here in a training exercise.
But that's not what happened. They all say training exercise. And the one that was put on trial said, I either had to shoot that man or they were going to kill me. He didn't mention any training exercise. He just told the truth. Personally, they shouldn't put that guy on trial. That seems insane to put that guy on trial. He had no choice. It wasn't even like he was ordered by the radio, like you've seen a movie. They're
right.
Like, do it. He can't be like, you're breaking up. Like the good guy. Like what? You can't do that, because there's literally a guy there who's saying, destroy that vehicle. And he's like, what? That's an order. You destroy the vehicle. You're a tank gunner, I guess, in the fucking army, and your commander or whatever he is tells you to destroy a vehicle. Are you supposed to have big ideas about which vehicles and when and where? No, you're supposed to be a machine that clicks that button when he tells you to. That's what they've been training you to do.
I thought they put a stop to that at the end of World War II. Wasn't this all the Nuremberg stuff? And then they gave you, isn't this true of our current military as well, that you were supposed to be only following lawful orders, and part of your job as a soldier is to understand what constitutes a lawful order and what isn't? So isn't that exactly the opposite of what you just said?
I mean, militaries do not care about international law.
That's not something that's been enforced in a little while, but if that's the case, because they just found this guy guilty of it and they gave him life.
It seems super weird too, the level to which Russia was willing to stoop to in Ukraine. It seems just so strange to me. Already the disproportion. I get it, the war didn't go well; they lost it essentially. But it seems like if you were going to do that, would you really want to add war crimes on top of that? Were they really just banking on the fact that this was just never going to be something that the international community was willing to do anything about because it's Russia and you don't want to fuck with Russia and their nukes kind of deal? Is this really?
I mean, that could be. I mean, you generally, nukes are kind of like a get out of jail free card for shit. As far as what Russia and China and the US do, we got nukes. Oh yeah, right. Oh, I guess Honduras can't hold us accountable. Oops. So I totally get that. What is kind of the end game of this? Did Russia steal the Donetsk or Luhansk, that region, or did Ukraine take that back? What's going to be the kind of redrawing of the map, if there will be, after this?
The Ukrainians are saying that they will not stand for any redrawing of the map, that the war will go on, and the Ukrainians,
they want Crimea back.
And the Ukrainians can fight forever, and the Russians can't. That's the state of things. This is just like a Civ game.
Well, the Ukrainians can't fight forever. They're still a people that needs to get back to their lives.
Nope, they can fight forever. This is a Civ game. We are at war. We're being invaded. But the problem is, the team members all to the east of me are feeding me resources and manpower, and I can hold this line forever. You will have to. They will hold it forever. The Russians cannot win. They can't. Certainly not. They're doing this trickle in thing anyway. They would need to stop, pull back, and mass forces and try to come next spring. Then maybe if they put a million men together.
You have to remember, Ukraine is a country. They need to get back to letting people have jobs.
Because they have friends.
Why? We're paying the bill.
But those friends will not last forever.
No,
Ukraine
yeah, they
also
will.
was like big talking to Russia for years because they were convinced that we were going to let them in NATO, and then the U.S. said no dice.
It'll stay forever. We'll never stop paying this because this is a win for us. For every dollar we send over there, it costs Russia 2, and that's not the exact ratio, but it might be.
Yeah, but do we want to fight an infinite proxy war against
Yes,
Russia
that's
using
always our
Ukrainian
goal.
citizens? So we're just going to use Ukrainian lives to fight a war against Russia.
This is
and
the
just
best
feed,
case
like,
scenario for.
No, I don't like that.
This is Uncle Sam's win.
You don't like it, but you just get one vote. You're not Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, you get your
That's
one vote.
true.
Uncle Sam is winning so fucking hard right now, and nobody seems to even be talking about it. Like Russia
who cares?
is getting
Think about the actual Ukrainian people on the ground.
and then like Biden has the audacity. Somebody propped him up to like let China know that, like, just so you know, like, we're ready to go to war over Taiwan. like
That was an interesting pronouncement, wasn't it?
yeah, Uncle Sam's got some fucking balls. Okay, somebody propped Biden up real nice the other day to say that shit to China. And no, this thing in Russia, we want this to go on as long as possible. If this is happening 5 years from now, the world is a safer place for it.
But that's not good for Ukrainian citizens and the people there. To basically,
where are you from, Taylor? What part of Ukraine do you hail from?
You know how I am. I don't like us getting involved in this shit.
Taylor, you're absolutely right.
Like, you don't want to use citizens of a foreign country in a proxy war.
We're not using them. We're
country.
helping them. They can decide if they want to stop. They don't want to stop because Slavic
really, they'll decide. So there's no influence of the U.S. egging on, proxy warfare between the nations.
If Volodymyr wants to strike up a deal with Russia and agree to like some new battle lines, he's free to do that. He can't join NATO. And don't think of him as some pawn of the West, because he's not standing for that either. Like, he's doing his own thing. And he's happy to keep doing it because he wants all of his country back now. And you can't imagine the amount of resources that they're being pumped in there.
I
like,
understand.
we are sending, was it
How did
40
Vietnam
more?
work out?
I can't keep. Okay, perfect example. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, a huge amount of dead Vietnamese who were used as pawns in a proxy war. That's what I'm saying.
Who cares about the Vietnamese? It's about Russia and the U.S. And the Soviet Union won Vietnam because of how many they made us look terrible in the national. This is perfect. They embarrassed us on the on the global stage. America's beatable. Did you guys know? What are you talking about? America's never lost a war except maybe the Civil War. No, they just lost one. Look, we did it over here in the jungle with rice paddy farmers.
Can't lose a civil war. You win in the end, right?
That's how you
like, regardless.
Depends which side you were on, Taylor.
It's ambivalent.
No, I mean, I understand what you're saying, Kyle, and it depends on the perspective you're taking. Like, if your
Soviets.
Perspective is more like we need to be distanced from these countries.
And it's about culture and technology as well, or technocracy maybe is the correct word, because right now we're showing that American tech fucking shits on Russian tech. It shits on it in every way that matters. We're showing that our the special forces teams that are being given night vision, they're more effective. The drones that are being fed into, the money that we're able to pump into it and not even care. While, frankly, we're going through a terrible economic crisis, but we're still able to fund a huge proxy war that's just shitting all over.
We just got to borrow some money from China.
I heard they were sending like T-62 tanks. I think those are the ones from the game that we were just talking about.
Yeah, and those weren't even the good ones. Those weren't even the good ones in that game. But no, I think Filthy understands what I'm saying. Like, it depends on the angle you're taking. If you're just talking about superiority of the US and their ability to influence everywhere on Earth, I understand what you're saying. If like the narrative is to be believed, though, that, we really do care on behalf of the Ukrainian people and the people in these countries that are caught in the middle of this shit, then it would stand to reason that you'd go, yeah, you know what is not good for the average Ukrainian is continuing a proxy war with fucking Russia and putting them in harm's way. What's
your solution? So should we have them be less armed so that the Russians can more quickly conquer their country? Is that what you want to do?
I don't know what the right move is, but I know that it's not getting involved in yet another proxy war in Korea or Vietnam. Or
that is what Kyle suggested, not giving them you're like, I don't know what the answer is, but I know that it is that, not giving them stuff and letting the Russians quickly topple them.
I don't think the Russians would quickly topple them. The Russians seem pretty inept in this shit. And
if
they want to keep fighting,
we are making them. We are doing this. Look, there may be Ukrainians on the ground, but we are the intelligence and the coordination. We are spending. It's not just the billions that we're spending, because we're sending cash money as well as shipments of everything imaginable to fight a war.
Mhm.
It's the infrastructure that is $1 trillion that generations of Americans have been putting together. That is our intelligence network, our spy satellites, and the planes that we don't even know about that fly at speeds that we can't imagine and are invisible, maybe even to the fucking eye at this point. Because when's the last time we saw like cutting edge tech? The F-35, right? They built that shit in the 90s.
Yes.
Like,
so the cutting edge tech you can't see. This makes perfect sense.
what I'm saying is that a lot of money is being used to coordinate the war effort in Ukraine. I don't think it's a coincidence that the Russians suddenly don't know how to fight wars, but the Ukrainians are great at it.
I
They live right
agree
next
with
to each
I
other.
understand where you're coming from, and I don't know what the right answer is.
You know what I
but
think?
It does, like, it is bad for Ukrainians to have an active war going on for the next 5 years. And if you're
It's
saying it
cool.
would benefit the US to have this going on for the next 5-6 years, I believe you, because it would, by comparison, weaken Russia having a hostile state on their border much more than it would us. It'd be much easier for us to fuel that and antagonize and really put the screws to Russia.
Good
But is
testing
that
ground
is
for
that
a tech
good
that we
for
wanna use
Ukrainian
China.
people?
No, of
What's
course it's
that,
not good
Filthy?
for. No, of course it's not good for
It-
you.
It's not good.
It's
for
not
the
about
course
what's
not.
good. It's not
Of
about
course
what's
not.
good. It's
Right,
not about what's good
exactly.
for them. It's about what's better for them, because we don't have like the choice between peace and war. That's not the
Well,
decision at hand.
I'm with you.
we can
until-
always try
I'm
and
with you until
find
you
a
say that,
peace.
right? I mean, it feels like you're both arguing the same problem here, right? Taylor's over there saying this is no good for them. Kyle just responded with, "It'd be better. It's better for them than the alternative of being conquered." But there's a third alternative, which is the war gets stopped sooner, right?
Yes.
But that's not better for the other people invested in that.
By what
you know?
terms?
So,
By what terms? Because if Ukraine has to cede control of all of their access to the sea there and all of their oil fields, then they go from the 14th largest producer of natural gas on the planet to a third world fucking country with their biggest enemy who just invaded them twice in a row in the course of what 6-7 years. They now have to trust that, okay, think about a Civ game, how this would work when someone offers you peace. What they really mean, they mean give me a minute.
No, I'd be trying to win
They
with
mean, give me a
dancing and
minute.
culture.
They mean give me a minute because I need my shit's on fire right now. Give me a minute. Oh, you
Flute
want
my
peace?
way to victory.
Oh yeah, dance in the streets. We'll be back in 4 years. Like no, they need to fight this war until it's ended properly, until Vladimir Putin is gone, because that's an outcome that is not inconceivable.
But some other guy will just step in and fill the vacuum.
This is a different kind of guy. They haven't done this in a while. They haven't invaded another country in a while like this. This is a little different.
I thought you said they did 7 years ago.
Same guy.
It's the same country, the same guy. I'm saying like
misunderstood what you were saying.
I don't think Boris Yeltsin would be like, invading countries and blowing up.
Well, let's dig them up. Exhume Boris.
Finally,
Yeltsin.
we're coming up with answers and not just problems.
Now we're coming up with solutions.
But in the end,
Finally.
I do think that the war going on is what's best for Ukraine. I think that their position can only improve and that Russia's position can only get worse. It's not like anybody's funding the Russians the way that the rest of the fucking world is funding Ukraine, and the rest and a huge portion of the world's economy is choking Russia. They're going to be forced into a situation that can only be more advantageous to Ukraine. And don't imagine that the Ukrainians are being slaughtered by the millions or anything. They're fighting a very effective war from what all the reports on the internet are.
I mean, their lives of so many millions of people's lives have been absolutely uprooted, destroyed. Like they can't return to their homes.
So
their
let's make
families
Russia
are
pay
distant.
for it. Like in the past, when a war like this would happen, like the loser would have to pay. Like maybe we pull it. See, Donald Trump, maybe that's his thing. Maybe he comes in. He's like, we're gonna build Ukraine, and Russia's gonna pay for it.
I mean, that would
Donald.
be
We just want Donald.
That would be very funny. I would like that if he did.
But come on, everyone would be like, "You lied the first time."
No. What if you no? I got even better. We're gonna rebuild Ukraine, and Mexico's gonna pay for it.
Now I'm on board.
and I would like it if he actually made Mexico pay for it, though.
You couldn't get Mexico to pay for the wall.
So we need to invade Mexico. As soon as they refuse to pay for that wall, we need to explain to them that current boundaries did not allow for an effective and safe barrier between our two countries. And so we have to invade on the basis that
we need a smaller
American lives are
more
in danger.
Wall.
Because they won't control the immigration issue. We have to do it for the betterment of our citizens, to keep them safe. And there's no way to do it correctly with the current borders, so we would have to invade and we'd have to take some territory, and that is where the wall would be placed. And it wouldn't be just a wall against illegal Mexicans; it would be a wall against all Mexicans.
That'd be more fair.
I'm over the whole.
And they
wall
would
thing.
pay for it if they wanted to use it. If they wanted to come over here, okay,
I would like a moat.
At all. Oh, there would be a moat.
A moat with crocodiles, all sorts, just syringes.
You know Donald Trump asked for that, right? Like all jokes aside, you know Donald Trump asked about that, right? Like
That's hilarious.
He wanted
asked about
alligators in the.
Zach, fact check me, because like that's either a fever dream I had, or
No, I
that's
remember
a
something
fucking
about that
fact.
too.
Like I
The thing
think he
is,
wanted a
like
moat
so
in the
many of these
crop.
Trump things, I'm like, well, like
I think it's
it's
sourced
so
well,
stupid.
though. I
How
think it's
stupid,
sourced
though.
well.
Well, Woody, what you have to remember is that any sort of barrier to entry is going to ultimately decrease the number of people
true.
who do this.
I'll tell you
Whether
what.
it's a moat
Cost
or
of
just
putting
a
that- the cost of
Imagine
putting that
if there
barrier
was
to
a-
entry in might be too high in the case of crocodiles, but it would reduce the
Now we've got an idea to stop the illegals. We're calling it the Hornet Mile. It is a mile of southern Texas where we've destroyed everything. Nothing but hornets, nothing but wasps. Good
Murder
luck,
hornets.
Mexicans.
Finally, they make their plot return.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out they killed all the bees. No one could have seen that coming. I'm so sorry.
That's why we've allowed the killer bees into the country specifically for this moment. They're going to be
Yeah.
relocated to the border wall,
Africa is
and then
not
it's barbed
sending
wire
their
and
best
killer
bees. Africa is sending killer bees. They're
I
sending.
just don't,
That'd
I
be
just
so
think
funny.
that,
They're like, Trump racistly calls African bees killer bees, and it's like, well, but they are killer bees. I remember the graphic.
Oh.
I don't,
What would happen if you tried to put alligators in the Rio Grande?
They
Would
probably
live? Would they
they
die?
probably ruin the ecosystem somehow.
Yeah, right. Somehow, but you don't know for sure until you try.
Yeah.
What about some kind of aquatic wolf?
Ooh, a sea wolf or a sea bear,
Sea wolf.
perhaps.
Perhaps some sort of a hybrid between a wolf and an alligator.
How
You know,
about a
I'm just
series of
thinking about
enormous
this.
Venus flytraps?
Ooh,
I
I like
of what
that.
a lion.
I like
think
that.
about
Those
lions.
lazy immigrants would be taking a nap.
Yeah.
Crawl in. You
Being
wake up-
digested.
Yeah.
by
I
the
was thinking the
juices.
Rio Grande. If you were to inhabit it with lions and sea lions, the lions would be a way bigger problem.
They would be.
I guess. I don't know. If
Sea lions are they even
pretty-
aggressive?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think I saw.
It's
Is
seals
that a
that
sea
are-
lion that bit that little girl in the ass and pulled her into the water? That famous little Reddit gif. That's always funny. He like, I think they get really big. No, I would like it if our southern border was protected by all sorts of
God.
ferocious things. I would like some sort of a big mirror that's like a magnifying glass in the sky that could like beam down and burn like invaders.
Yeah, I'd like some sort of Eye of Sauron, some sort of Colossus of Rhodes that's animated and comes to life.
I want it to aesthetically appear though to just be an enormous magnifying glass, an old timey one.
Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
And-
just
and-
It adds a little bit of class to the horror.
But I really just I'm passionate about our borders, and not just the southern border, the northern border too. I think we should shoot any of those fuckers that try to cross either border.
I'm
Either
passionate
way.
about our eastern border. The UK is coming again, and I will not have it. People think
I
they're
the only
done.
one-
They're going to reconquer us. They're going to try.